Crypto Night in Canada. Welcome, everybody. We got Tim Perry in the house. We got Candace from Financial Brew. And we got the freaking Oracle Ken. How are you, Ken?
Good.
That's good. I think we're on our own tonight. I don't think there's anybody here.
There's 5 viewers and no comments.
Oh, wow.
Silence sometimes is your friend.
Silence of the lambs.
Oh, okay. Well, we had that. We put a amazing title together today. Collaboration. We call BS. He called BS.
No, there's people.
Bear scare.
Oh, there's
bear
the Bitcoin.
scare.
Oh, Len. First purchase today on my Shakepay Visa.
Yeah, Tim
Farm
made
boy.
his first purchase.
And I'm sitting here waiting for the the show. Netcoins. I get an email from Netcoins, which is part of Big Digital, I believe. And they're trying to, or they say it's not just me. I like to think it's me, but it's not just me. But they're putting out a Visa where it's 3% back for Bitcoin. So looks like the season is upon us. What?
Sorry, can you? I don't even know anything about this. Can you?
Well, I've got a link. No, it's Shakepay has come out with their digital Visa.
Okay.
It's a prepaid card. And I believe the Christmas season they've quoted, I believe, is 4%.
Yeah.
If you refer someone who has not got the invite, what is it? Can they get 1%?
Yeah, it's 1% per person. So if you refer 2 people, you're doing them a favor and you're knocking yourself up to 4%.
Yep. And it's a prepaid, so it's not, you don't go into debt over. It's just you load up what you want, and when it's out, it's gone. And I just put it into my Apple Wallet.
So what's the interest on your card then for payments?
Nothing, because you have to load it to use it.
Oh, okay.
It'd be like
that's what I like about it.
And then you just get sats back for paying it.
Correct.
That's cool. But you said there's a backlog? I think I kind of caught it on Facebook. I can't just go and get one tomorrow.
It looks like they've opened. It looks for the digital part of it, like for the actual one that you get to put in your wallet. I think there's a backlog, but I think it looks like they've opened it up for everyone, and they just put it onto your wallet, right? In your what do you call it? Your wallet, right?
Your Shakepay app.
Correct. Yeah. So no, they've. It looks like they're just letting the hounds loose on this one, and they've opened it up to everyone. So it was like.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm doing.
Basically what they've done is if you were on the wait list, you're automatically in. If you're not on the wait list, then you need to get somebody who was on the wait list or who has it to invite you.
You got to know someone. I know a guy who knows a guy.
Yep. I invited 2 people today. It wasn't pretty easy to find some people who wanted in on it.
I interested my daughter and her boyfriend, and they go, "What email?" And I said, "Give me your handles." And I sent it off to them, and they're going out to BC for the Christmas, so it's like spend.
Don't encourage. Anyways, well, this is amazing. So you bought something on at the
I bought dinner
Boy,
tonight on it,
and we made some
and
sats.
some snacks and some treats.
That's good. So okay, so we talk about, because Tim got us started with the now I can't even speak. It's the Shakepay Visa, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so let's talk about what's going on in the markets. So Candace, our technical wizard, you made a graph, and you said if it went outside the graph that certain things would happen. Then you made another graph and said if something happened, then that would happen. Then Willie Woo said stuff, and Will Clementi said stuff, and Plan B said some stuff, and then more people said some stuff. And then Blockchain Backer said a whole bunch of other stuff. And guess what? Nobody's been right. Not one person. Not one person.
The only thing is, it's stuff. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with technical analysis, and I've always said this right from the beginning, is that it's all about probability. There's a probability that a market's going to move in a particular direction. There's also a probability that it will move in the opposite direction. So when you roll that 6-sided die, you're probably not going to roll a 1, but you might roll a 1. And that's kind of the situation that we were in on the weekend when it came to Bitcoin dropping down. Now, the best news about it is that this type of volatility is absolutely normal for Bitcoin. It does
Yeah.
it a lot. We're not out of the bull market. We're not out of the bull market. We're not in a bear market. It is moving up very, very slowly, and sideways too. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think we're going to hit any of the fantastical predictions that people have made for end of year. But depending on what it does the rest of this month, as long as it stays on this momentum, as long as we move up into, I would say, at least mid 50s, if not all the way up to 60 by the end of the year, we could have a nice little bump in January before we have to start thinking about, are we heading towards the bear market or what's going on? Or basically just reevaluate it at that stage too.
You know, it's interesting. Remember in the summertime, I was all excited about Raul Paul had done a video called The Exponential Age, which it blew my mind. It was so good. And then he's just done an Exponential Age Part 2 that we watched this morning. And it made the most sense to me of anything that's been said recently. He said that he was kind of expecting something like this to happen because in big business, everything is done in quarters. And he's right. Everything is done in quarters. He said, so there is a possibility that a whole bunch of business that's been holding Bitcoin would have pulled back some in order to put cash back on the balance sheet in order to hit, so that all the executives would hit a bonus. Mm-hmm. And then in the next quarter, they'll reposition to put Bitcoin back on their balance sheet.
Because they've got new budgets and they've got to spend it somewhere.
Yeah. New budgets and new regulations coming.
No, it's absolutely true. In business, everything is done in quarters. I remember when I had a lemonade stand as a kid, it was totally done in quarters.
Well, you know what? The good news is that
Are you sure it wasn't lines?
You guys, you're just as bad as Tim. Now, the good news is that my hat still has some longevity to it, so I can wear the Bitcoin, $100,000 Bitcoin. It's not gone out of style yet, so I've got some more life out of this hat.
And look at it this way: when Bitcoin does finally go above 100K, then when you wear it, you can just pretend you're a bear.
I never thought of that, Candace. Good job. So, how's everybody else feeling? Tim Perry, what are you hearing in the ether scans?
I'm just, I watch Bitcoin dominance right now. I'm like emotionally exhausted. I'm sure a lot of you are. I've obviously been going at this for like 4 years, and that last little drop, it was funny that day. And then just like, I've been processing it. I did obviously some little more risky moves and experienced my first rug pull the other day. And I was
you did?
Yeah, but I even said on the other show, I said, you got to know what you're getting into. I mean, Rohit today was like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm like, don't feel sorry for me. I knew what I was getting into. And I've already made that back and more in the one that I was telling you about the other day. I'm getting crazy amounts of ETH. I mean, I only put small amount. You put like 0.5%, like a small fraction of your portfolio, not even a percent into these kind of coins, right? So my first rug pull out of doing degenning stuff every now and then wasn't that bad, but it was still like just something. I had something come up in my personal life too, where I think it factored into some of the stuff I was doing, and you don't realize it, but you shouldn't be trading or doing anything when something has happened in your life that rocks you a bit.
Yep.
Well, I wake up now, I just look at Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin price, and ETH, and see how strong ETH is. Because obviously my theory is we're still looking pretty okay as long as that dominance right now is teetering off of Bitcoin is Ledn. Yeah, no, it's true. I've come unscathed with all that stuff. So I'm still pretty optimistic that, hey, like I got rug pulled once out of all the stuff I've done in 4 years. Not bad. But no, Bitcoin dominance right now, we just dropped again today. Like if we drop 40%, I mean, I think fireworks are going to come, but obviously that's support. So most likely we get a bounce and Bitcoin gets some more steam behind it. Hopefully the steam goes up, but I don't know.
Did we, you said we dropped again? Did we drop again?
Yeah, I mean, the drop is like a fractional percent in dominance right now. If you were to watch something like Coin Market Cap or CoinGecko, their Bitcoin DOM charts are not like as real-time good as TradingView. I only use TradingView to really market that, because if you were looking on CoinGecko right now, let me check. It's 37.9%. So you'd be like, oh, wow, that's awesome. But we're actually 40.38% on TradingView. And it's been just slowly coming down from 41 since that move the other day. So I don't know. I just think fireworks are going to happen still. I've been waiting for this since May. And obviously our dominance, if you were to look at the dominance chart in May, when I was telling you guys, get ready, it was at 40% again. And then we had that crash. And when the swan dive in May happened, though, the dominance spiked up. Like it went back up to about 50% almost, 48, I think. I can't remember. Don't quote me. So we're back down to that again. Similar exact vibe. ETH is looking strong, all this. Now everyone's going, if we're looking at a pattern, watch out for Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin dropped this time, dominance actually dropped, which was like unheard of.
What does that mean when that happens?
Well, we haven't seen something like that. Usually when big moves happen up or down, Bitcoin, all liquidity runs back into Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is king, and it hopefully, I've got nothing against Bitcoin in that sense. I just think other coins deserve a fair share of that dominance now. And then also we don't heavily weigh on Bitcoin pairings and stuff, screwing up every good altcoin chart. Not too long ago, not this swan dive, but there was a few weeks ago or whatever, a lot of pairs were looking good. And then Bitcoin kind of came and stole everyone's thunder again. So I just think as coins evolve and you get more utility out of all these coins, they deserve, in my opinion, a bigger fraction of the dominance. And then it also allows for, dominant Bitcoin not killing everything. Like Bitcoin should be king. I respect Satoshi. I respect the original, the original OG kind of thing. But like let it come down so not the whole market's not riding on Bitcoin, especially when you got Bitcoin whales if you got Bitcoin whales who can, manipulate the whole of Bitcoin, then that means they can manipulate the whole market.
Oh, look who's decided to join us.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on? What's in the background there? I see something on the wall.
Just another fun decoration for this old guy.
I think that's Halo.
Yeah, it is. I just, I love my thrift shopping. So when I see something kind of fun, I pick it up. So, Nancy, I know you want some more visuals. So I'm still working on my barn. So
I love the visuals. Soon you're going to have a green screen in the background. Here's my thinking. You're going to have a green screen. You're going to have to project your horses racing in the background there.
Well, we'll get there one day, maybe.
Ah.
If it stops snowing, maybe in my part of the country, it would help.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So before we jump into your NFTs and what's going on in your sphere, can we swing back and have a
wait a minute. Did I read the headlines right in the media that apparently some guy has claimed that he's Satoshi down in Miami or something like that, and he won some big court case? Was I reading that, or was that just a bunch of bunk?
No, you're reading that.
Come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him to move just a fraction of a Bitcoin in that wallet.
That's
and it's not happening. So
you're not Satoshi.
He convinced the judges somehow.
Well, I don't know if everyone saw that it went viral today. The guy in because there was a lot of U.S. court action today with crypto, and Ethereum got mentioned a lot for all the ETH heads out there. No, and like it seems, I don't know. You also had the guy from FTX up there, but anyways, the one guy had absolutely no idea what he was talking about. We talked about this before with Nancy, where like Nancy's work or whoever, her brother, I think, had a crypto expert come in and he didn't even know half the stuff that we talk about. And none of us are even experts compared to some of the other people that are out in the crypto sphere. So it was kind of funny seeing all these guys. So to convince a judge that you're Satoshi Nakamoto probably isn't that hard. There's only one way to do it if you know crypto, and that is move money from the Genesis wallet, like Ken said. If you can't do it, you're not Satoshi. Simple as that.
Yeah. So Well, this will be interesting to see what anybody
It's kinda
thinks is going to
sad.
happen
It's
here.
kind of sad that people are doing that, getting away with it.
Well,
Like 15 minutes of fame.
well, but the thing is that you guys are right. All from here on going forward, any judge would that in their right mind would then do the same thing. That will be the same thing. Okay, move some money out of that wallet.
That's true.
But some of them probably don't even know. Like, that's the funny part.
Well, he was saying that when he wins, he will move some money and prove it to the world. So still waiting.
Yeah.
No,
Well, Ken, Len's just asked if there's any updates on the supply chain issues. Oh, there's always updates. Let's just
Still
start.
terrible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is that now freight rate charges are so astronomical that I don't even know. I just don't even know how this is going to go. I think their freight rate's up 40% or some ridiculous thing like that. So every day there's some new thing. I did hear that in China they've shut down. I could look up the email. Dalia, Dalia. I think that's the name of the city or the region in China. 40% of all of our seafood is moved through that township, and they've just shut down because of COVID again. We're hearing now we're not going to get anything out of that region until after Chinese New Year, which I think is sometime in February. So I was really hopeful that we would be back on track with normal flow of volume soon. I'm now thinking that I'm not even sure by this time next year we'll be properly aligned again.
Yeah.
So this pushes my projections out to probably spring of 2023 at this point.
So stock up on your seafood because it sounds like it's really floundering over there in China.
Oh,
Anyway.
God.
Oh, but
Not tonight, Captain Highliner. I have a haddock.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. So again, the whole supply chain is just a real mess. I was talking to the folks in BC. We still just have one highway in and out, and it's the very long, windy road. Highway 3 is the main highway coming in and out, and getting goods and services. Like the reality is the vast majority of our products that we were importing from the Asian markets are coming into the Vancouver port. So we have to be able to get goods and services either onto trains or on trucks, and we have to get that through on that windy highway through. The Coquihalla Highway, which is another way that they can get goods and services out of the lower mainland and up into the northern regions and sort of into the interior. It looks like it's been war torn. Like bridges have been completely washed away. We're talking, this is going to take them a long time to get themselves anywhere near normal. So they're going to be down with like dairy and produce is going to be a huge deal for them. But yeah, no, it's still a real mess. It's a real mess. And yes, Len's right. Vancouver is the only deep water port in the west coast of Canada. So I think and Len's right, Nancy, will we be really feeling the price pinch after February 2022? Yes. So as I said on Ryan's channel on Sunday night, so how it works is when you've got supply chain with retail. So retail adds in, they've got contracts. So if you're going to buy, if you are a manufacturer and you want to sell into the retail chains, your contract would state something to the effect of that you must give us your price by this date, and you must hold your price from here until here. So they want that because they want to be able to run their business the way they don't deal in commodity quite the same way because they're doing large buys. So the reason that you're not seeing the prices in the retail stores quite yet the way that everybody else is because they're holding the prices from probably what they were quoted out in September. So they haven't seen the increases, but they will, and it's going to come in like an avalanche. So I already know that some of the manufacturers are rejigging their product offering, and they're going for more of the price fighting items, as I said, like the chicken wieners, more things with more fillers if they can get them. So it's going to be a real problem. So yeah, Create, Save, and Invest is saying the Coca-Cola won't be open until spring. He'd say, yeah, I'd say, and it's just really scary. Like we are not hearing the news quite the same way that, like we're hearing some, but we're not hearing the in-depths of what's really going on. Let's just say that. So it's good that we're all here and investing in crypto, because we're going to need it as an inflation hedge. That's all I got to say.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhat of a snowball rolling down the hill, starting with February, March, but then that the Fed's going to probably have to look at interest rates seriously in the spring. So, at some point in time, that adds into not any relief from the price of retail increasing. And then who knows about the debt from Christmas? People who have not been working or trying to get a job, and then maybe the demand isn't there for as much employment as they thought. I don't know, but it just things are going to snowball, and who knows what's going to go on with the cerveza sickness.
Cerveza.
Anyways, enough about supply chain. What I want to talk about, one of my favorite, is the metaverse.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
I want to talk about Candace has done her picks every week now. She's done her picks. So I know she's brought in another set of picks. Dun, da, da, da.
Oh, yes, we do have our top 10 again. And at the end of the top 10, we have something a little special. So let's kick off this week. So back in at number 10, and you'll also notice I put last week in there too, so you can sort of see where it was the week before.
I love it.
We've got Axie Infinity coming back in, and you're going to see on the return on investment that a lot of them are going to be down for the simple reason, because of what happened on the weekend with Bitcoin. So that's our Axie Infinity. Coming in at number 9, same position as last time, was Decentraland. So Mana down 19.2%. As I said, a lot of these coins are down. We do have some that were up, and you're going to see those just in a moment. Now at number 8, which last week was number 5, is the IOI token. Now this one here, I didn't really sort of mention too much about it last week because we did that meet and greet. So that one is basically an NFT gaming ecosystem. They do have a game involved with it, which is a racing game. So if you're very much into race cars, this might be something that would interest you. You can do staking. They also have NFTs. And all transactions that happen within their ecosystem are absolutely no fees to them. So
Candace, if that's a racing token and in opposed to staking it, do they call it pitting it?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
He definitely got to the core of that.
Oh.
All right. Now we have a new one on the list this week, Ethermon. So EMON. They were actually up 2.7% over the week. Now this is an Ethereum-based game. They have monsters in it called Mons. So you're raising monsters, you can fight them. NFTs, the same general concept as a lot of these coins, where you can make money by selling your monsters, things like that, and winning fights, all of that type of thing. So Ethermon, and it's actually one of the few ones that showed positive results last week. Another new one, OVR. Now, OVR is all about a platform for gaming. It's also a platform for live events. So this would be a platform where you could bring in, for example, you could do a concert like in the virtual world. They've got slants towards education, retail, AI assistant, even tourism. So they're really, really primed to grow. Now they were down 6%, but that's actually pretty good compared to some of the ones that were down much worse over the week. Number 5 is really cool. It's the Museum of Crypto Art, MOCA.
Ooh.
They were up 18.6%. Their basic gist is all about digital art curation. So looking at digital art, NFTs, and they're even, one thing that's really cool about them as well is they're looking at some of the arts and some of the things on the very initial blockchain, and they're calling that digital cave paintings. So it's kind of like they're collecting history at the same time. So I think that's going to be one to watch.
Interesting.
And they were up 18.6% when a lot of things were down.
Oh.
Number 4, which was our number one last week, was My Neighbor Alice. It was down 30.8%, but I think Alice still has a lot of legs left because it is the only farming version.
I couldn't figure out. I went and looked. I really did some research on My Neighbor Alice. So what I could find was that the game hasn't launched yet. Is that what you know about that product?
I think a lot of these are sort of either just launching or in the process of launching. So I think Alice is kind of on the verge, but I thought I heard of people being in it. So
I think that if you bought the tokens, you might be able to get in early on it.
I think that's the situation. Let me do some more research on Alice. I'll bring that back to you next week.
Okay.
What Neil was talking about that months ago, weren't you, Neil?
Yeah. So Alice, I believe it's in beta still. Like I haven't been watching it a lot, but it's got a lot of interesting aspects to it, and it's got a pretty strong community for sure.
Exactly. All right. Number 3, we have the Sandbox. So it's fallen a little bit. It fell 21.8% over the week. It was number 2 last week. Number 2 is Engine. So basically Sandbox and Engine just switched places.
Yeah.
Simply based on the fact that Engine did a little bit less worse than Sandbox did.
Yeah.
Then at number 1, we have
Whoa.
RMRK. They actually were up 31.9%. Now, these guys are really interesting. They sort of call themselves NFT Legos. So and here's it gets even more interesting. They've got multi-chain and they're built on the Kusama network. So if you remember Kusama being the test network for Polkadot. So this is where these guys are living. So that's going to give them a lot of versatility. And that's why they're sitting here at number 1.
What happened to Realm?
Realm just completely died.
Really?
Yeah, they're still out there. It's just that they died off of the chart. They fell off. I think they were down about almost 40% or high 30s. I mean, it was one of those things. Realm did really, really well. It almost made it to number 1, and then it just hasn't done very well since then. So it's been kind of consistently underperforming. Not to say it won't come back, because that's what you're going to find. You're going to find with these metaverse coins is that there's going to be a lot of movement up and down the charts. So you're going to get exposure through this top 10 to a lot of different coins.
Yep.
And some of them are obviously going to stick around, and some of them are going to come in briefly and they may not survive because it's a big market, and obviously not all of them are going to survive the test of time.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you finish your thought. Sorry.
I was just going to mention the next part, which is the top 5 stocks.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, you guys asked for this 2 weeks ago.
I did.
Sorry, I fell asleep.
Can I ask for it without the sound effects next time?
Stop it.
Do, 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 do.
There. Drum roll, please.
Okay.
Mutual.
Mutual of Omaha did not make the top 5 stocks.
This is the top 5 metaverse stocks.
Top 5 Canadian metaverse.
Ooh,
so for this one here, I thought I would stick to Canada, and that was a tough job because most of the metaverse stocks are not in Canada.
Right.
But obviously, that we got the 2 ETFs, so they're going to be on this list. But there's also going to, I did find a few little interesting stocks. So let's
That's beautiful, sir.
take a look at the first one. It's a company called Urban Immersive Inc., ticker symbol UI.
Ooh. Yes.
What they do is they do real estate photography. So they create 3D immersive worlds based on real estate photography. And where they're going to be part of the metaverse is that when you start creating virtual worlds, their technology is going to be what you can use to create some of these houses, some of these buildings, some of these venues. So that's where they sort of tie into the metaverse. So definitely a company to watch. I'm not saying that people should rush out and buy this company, but it's a company I'll throw on my watch list and just sort of see how it's going.
Can you do you know what it was trading at the time of you looking this up by chance?
It might be around $1, a little bit less. I think it's a penny stock. So,
and how long's it been around? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay. No. I don't know the exact amount of time, but it's been around for at least 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All of these stocks have been around for a little bit of time.
Okay, very good. Yep.
All right, next one up, Blue Drop Performance Learning, BPLI. Now, they do learning solutions. Most of it is all e-learning. They have their hands into aerospace, and they also do a lot of stuff for Dell as well. So a lot of the learning capacity of the metaverse, these guys have their fingers in it. So they have some potential there. Now the next one, Spectra 7 Microsystems. These guys, they produce high performance semiconductors. Their semiconductors are so high performance that they are exactly the type you need to run a VR system.
Interesting.
So they basically are, they're not going to be producing stuff that you're going to see. They're going to be producing the back end. And now these guys are not a penny stock. I believe that these guys trade for, I thought it was like maybe $50 or something like that.
Okay.
They're much higher. All right. And then that takes us, of course, to, I mentioned our two ETFs. So Horizon Global Metaverse ETF. They have 50 companies, a lot of the big tech groups in the US. So Amazon, Visa, Google, Microsoft, all of your big metaverse companies.
Yeah.
And then we also have Evolve. So Evolve Metaverse ETF, Mesh, they have a slightly smaller portfolio. They have 25 companies, and Evolve tends to touch a little bit more outside the US. They have the core is the US companies, but they also have, for example, Alibaba from China. Now, where that's a company that's doing bad, somebody actually asked me on my video, because I did a video on these two ETFs yesterday or Monday. So somebody asked me, well, what about this Alibaba? It's starting to do bad. And I was like, well, because it's an ETF and it's managed, if Alibaba does consistently bad over a long period of time, they'll just remove it from the ETF and put somebody else in.
That's right. They'll shuffle.
That's the way it works, because they want to basically have half decent returns for us. So those two came in at top. The only reason I put Evolve over Horizon was the simple fact that Evolve's a little bit cheaper. It's about half the price of a Horizon. So you can, it's a little bit less of a level of entry when it comes to those two.
Interesting.
But now for next week, I probably won't keep it just Canadian. I will just open the doors on this one.
I can't wait.
Open the borders.
We'll open the borders, because all of the interesting stocks are in the US. Not to say Canada's not interesting.
Right.
Canada's awesome.
And these are all, so I would imagine these are all on the TSX.
These are all on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Yeah, so Canadian dollars.
And Redbeard's been giving us what it's worth on Wealthsimple. Thank you, Redbeard.
There we go.
No, the one thing I was going to say is Panda had made a comment higher up about VRA, and that's what Nays was going on about. Remember?
I remember him mentioning something about it.
He went bananas over that. Of course, Frequent Oracle's Remember Nays going bananas over VRA?
Yeah, it's because of the VRA has their own wallet. So if you deposit
Oh.
the coins into the wallet, you get like 25.55% APY.
Is VRA have something to do with the metaverse?
It does. I can't remember exactly what
I
it
can't
was,
remember.
but
He's going to kill us if he's watching this. I'm sorry, Nays, but
when he was talking about it, I was like, hey, if you want something that's really going to blow your mind, read about Theta. So it's along, I remember it's kind of along the lines of Theta.
Yeah, you're right.
In some aspect of video gaming or something.
Mm.
But it's sitting at 4 cents, I think, right now.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was really passionate about that on one of his streams.
Yeah, but when he was talking about it, I was taking a look at some of the reviews on the wallet, and there's a lot of people that are not happy with the withdrawal time to actually get your coins back out. So,
well, that's no good. That's no good. So did you hold up that little kitty because you went out and bought Kitty Inu? Is that why you held up? You've decided to not be a dog person anymore?
no, because the cat decided to jump up on the kitchen table here. So
I thought
Well,
maybe
better there than in the couch.
listen, I thought I was excited. I thought maybe you were converting over to the kitty side.
no, I was gonna grab some kitty when it was on the dip there, and I bought something else instead.
I'm just letting mine ride.
Yeah.
Well, I picked up some Impact XP because what they did is they renounced their contract and they rewrote their contract so that it would fit with SataMask's core securities to be on the SataMask platform.
Just before I lose my train of thought, Candice, you had mentioned, is it Mocha? What was the art one on your NFT side of?
Oh, here,
coins?
I looked. I took a picture.
I know we could easily
Yeah.
rewind it. Was it Mocha?
Yeah.
Mocha. So I get this subscription called The Peak. And in today's edition, I won't read it all to you. It says, I'll just take an excerpt. I'll read you a little part from it. Recently, oh my God, by a vowel. Recently, Bloomberg asked investment experts where they personally invest $1 million right now. And they overwhelmingly, they all said that they would advocate for alternatives like art.
Do you want me to take over?
Would you please? Yes, it starts right there.
These numbers explain why. Contemporary art pieces have appreciated 14% annually from 1995 to 2020. Wealth collectors allocate 10 to 30% of their portfolios to art, and the lowest correlation to public equities of any major asset class, according to Citi. So that Mocha is very interesting. And you know who likes art is the guy sitting below us.
Love her.
Yeah, but here's the other thing too. There's two words as to why the rich people are very interested in this: tax shelter.
Yes.
And that's, that's why I think something like this has a chance of making a lot of money. And it's one worth looking into if you're thinking about getting involved in the metaverse, because as the rich people start using it as a tax shelter, it just means that coin is going to go way up.
Yeah. And yeah. So, and Sarai said she bought some kitty. So we got another member of the kitty club. So this is really exciting.
And she bought hers on BSC instead of ETH.
Oh.
Well, it just listed, yeah.
Yeah, she said she got on Pancake Swap, so that's good. She saved on gas fees right there, yo.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, I'm so pissed.
Because you've been buying it on an
Well,
platform?
I figured it would be a lot higher by the time it got on Binance Chain, and instead it's actually far lower. It seemed to be a sell the news event.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much tapped out, but we'll see. It's tempting.
Well, it could fly now that you can get it on Binance, cheap gas fee. That could start nudging it back up to
It's been 24 hours though. Well, it was a sell the news event, then it went up a bit and then came back down. So I think we should have had that pump by now. So we'll probably see lower prices before we see higher again. But I'm not concerned at all with Kitty. I've been really following the lead developer. Just she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Mr. Neil, talk
Hi.
to us about horses. What's going on? Tell us about your vast recovery that Ken and Tim Perry did for you.
There's been no recovery. I've been digging out of the snowstorm basically the last 2 days, and I've got other things going on. I'm actually going to leave them in that wallet, knowing that it's mine, because then I can't breathe and spend any money. Because I got a few things. There's a new one I found last week through a friend. It's called Recur Forever, RECUR. .forever, and they're minting a pass for 24 hours only once, and it starts tomorrow, and it's $300. So I'm going to get one of those. There's a single white pass that just went for 69 ETH earlier on today. So somebody spent 69 ETH on a single white pass for this Recur Forever. And some of the ones that they've announced partnerships for are like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hello Kitty, and then they've got the NCAA. So I'm kind of pretty excited about that one. It's they're really interesting. They're you can buy it with fiat or crypto. So you kind of pick the way you want to pay for it, and it's $300 for a pass. And then on Friday is when the Wizards Collective does their whitelist pre-mint. And I got on their whitelist by just being active in the community in that. And I'm going to be minting. I'm going to mint a max of 5 wizards on Friday, and this is the one where you get a slight discount if you stake these NFTs, and you will earn orbs, which will can be sold for funds or can be exchanged for different prizes within the community and so on. So I'm pretty excited about that one. Tim's been telling me I need to follow my gut and go, and this is the one I'm going to go hard. If it doesn't sell out in the whitelist, I'm going to probably immediately mint as many as I can as soon as it goes public, because I want them all. If I had all the money, I'd buy them all, because I think it's going to be lucrative. So I'm going to mint 5 on Friday as long as there's enough, and then more if possible. I've been moving all my money around, getting ready for this. So
amazing. So could you, because our computer just flicked out for a moment, what was the name of that?
It's called the Wizards Collective. I actually just retweeted something from my account. It's just another, retweet, like, and tag friends, and you get a chance. It's, I found them through the Zedrun community.
Yeah.
It's someone that's heavily involved that started their own project, and they decided to kind of leave Zedrun because they're following this, and he's someone that's done very well in the NFT community. So the idea of the NFT or this particular project is that you would stake these NFTs so that you would gain rewards. And this NFT project is going to work with other projects, say when they want to have something buy up the floor. This project would buy up the floor and put them in their vaults. And what they have in these vaults are fractional ownership of different NFTs. So you'll have your blue chip, like your Bored Ape Yacht Club, and your CryptoPunks, and then you'll have your mid-tier, maybe like a Lazy Lions, things like that, and then you'll have your starter project, which is kind of the more risky one. So I'm going to stake all 5 right away. This is a long-term play for me. I think this could be quite profitable. So I'm going to stake them all, and I'm going to put them in different vaults, and hope that there are airdrops and so on, which they've been hinting at moving forward.
Now, have you got a system for keeping your track of your wallets now? Because I'm going to put you on my worry list. I'm going to worry that you don't have a handle on this.
As long as I'm not on the naughty list.
No, on the worry list. Do you have a handle on all those MetaMask wallets?
Well, I think so.
Oh,
The real issue is I'm having trouble getting connected to my third wallet because I don't have a third browser on my computer. And I'm hesitant to hijack my daughter's computer to log in, just in case, somehow it stayed logged in. And so what it is I need to get onto a different browser, basically, to connect my MetaMask so that I can connect to the stable.
Neil, if you have to use your daughter's thing, just lock your wallet, but when you're done, and you're good.
I know, but I'm not that clever. So, and to be quite honest, if I send these horses to my wallet, I'm immediately going to breed every single one of them, because these 3 were the 3 that I picked up to be my studs. So it's like right now I'm just hitting a chill pill and focusing on that. We've basically, where I've been living, it didn't stop. It started snowing or raining on Saturday, and it did not stop until today.
Oh,
So yesterday morning, I dug out from like, I don't know, well over a foot.
wow.
And my snowblower is sitting right next to me here in the barn because it's not running.
Oh, that
So,
sounds horrible.
yeah. So, but no, I'm really struggling to find the time for crypto right now. So most of mine's happening, and I've taken a deep dive in VV. I've got over 30 collectibles now. I've hit on the last couple drops for comics. I picked up a couple extra today. The one that went for $6.99 off the sale has already got a $60 floor, and it hasn't even been 12 hours since the drop. So I picked up a couple more along the way. So I'm just, I'm gonna get my fingers cut off. Luckily, Tim found them. I'll just reattach them in a little bit. No, I'm just everywhere. I'm super interested in Zedrun right now, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So like I've kind of already set it up. I just got to move things over, but I'm really excited about these 2 projects. The one tomorrow is definitely more of a risk.
Yeah.
But that's something I've definitely learned I like. I think that's why I like crypto. I like gambling, but I've never been too much of a gambler.
Oh.
So I'm just enjoying it. But I just find the NFTs fun. And I think that's why I just gravitate to them, because money's nice in that, but I love having fun. I'm a giant kid. So,
Well, that's.
but
Hey.
if anyone's got an extra $300 kicking around, I would highly suggest check out Recur Forever. Because we're kind of thinking it might be like an VV 2.0 kind of thing.
Recur Forever?
Yeah. And there's very little info. I just actually got an email before the show saying like, FAQs, like this is, what you want to do. Make sure you're on a registered list. So you don't need to do anything but register to get on the wait list.
Yeah.
So, but it's only minting for 24 hours and then never again. And it gets you into the beta. And for me, I think that's it could be a really lucrative opportunity.
Awesome.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Eddie.
We hear Eddie in the background.
So I found out when Alice is coming out, spring of 2022.
Oh, but how do you get in the early stages of it, like everybody else? How do you get to be in the beginning part of it?
Well, there's probably a sign up of some sort on the beta, and I think you're going to need to purchase a certain number of Alice coins as well to be able to get into that.
And they've already had their land sale. I think that's what got everything started. It's just like OVR that you were talking about earlier. That's the one that had months ago, they sold the land underneath the Eiffel Tower and the digital. So they created a map of the world directly over everything that exists now. And they've started selling that land. And then that's also the one where I was geo-mapping my community and picking up coins when I was walking around my neighborhood in the winter.
Really?
Yeah. So like the OVR platform is immense. It's immense. Like from what I learned about it after I kind of got interested in it, it was totally different than what I thought it was.
So, okay, here's my challenge with all of this, and I'm going to sound like Ryan Hemsley. I'm struggling to just keep on top of what's going on in Bitcoin, what's going on in Ethereum, all the meme coins, all the other altcoins, all the projects, and I'm very interested in the metaverse. But then there's this world that you guys are talking about that interests me. But how the heck do you swim through all of this and find which one? Do I go to my friend Alice or my neighbor Alice? Am I supposed to go to OVR? Because that sounds really cool. Why would I buy virtual land under the Eiffel Tower? Like, what's the point of that? And in that world, will it exist with another world? Like, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around all of this. Does anybody else feel confused?
I would say instead of trying to swim down every lane in the swimming pool at the same time, is pick a lane. pick something that does interest you. There's money to be made in all of these platforms, and as long as it looks viable, because otherwise, if you spread yourself too thin, you're just not going to. You're not going to have the capital in there for one to make a lot of money, or to really do anything.
Thanks, David.
So, but again, how do you pick? Like, how do we know it's going to be my neighbor Alice? How do we know it's going to not be OBR? Like, I don't understand.
You don't.
You got to have a feeling, and you got to dig into the project and think about what. Like, I think that's why I've totally pulled back from coins. Like, I've kind of picked my coins, and I've actually pulled money to do the NFT thing, because I find it more interesting. I think it could be quite lucrative because it's very early on.
Yep.
You know, if you think of how early crypto is, NFTs is even newer than that. And so, especially where it's going. So I'm hoping that what I'm collecting and going for is going to turn into those things that I can, you know, take loans against. You know, these are going to be, and especially with the Wizards and collaborative, like, I'm getting fractional ownership of something I can't even fathom owning a Bored Ape Yacht Club. And like, just something interesting. So I've been listening. I like Post Malone, and I was watching his like recent video with The Weeknd. And right before the music starts, he's looking at a Bored Ape Yacht Club and turns off his phone. And I'm just sitting there being like, holy crap. Like, this guy's a huge star right now. And he's like, I guess he has a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, he's a member. And like, so just seeing things like that I wouldn't have seen before, but that's kind of like how you're saying, like, how do I swim down every river? You can't. And I think you got to figure out what kind of piques your interest the most, so that it's not work. Because like, I go to work 5 days a week. I'm a dad. So I think that's why I go to NFTs, because they're fun. They're really interesting to me. So that's why I focus that way, because, you know, digging into some of these projects, sure, they might be, you know, excellent, have great fundamentals, but, you know, they're boring as shit. And like, that's why, honestly, I'm not interested in Bitcoin. I truly do think ETH is going to destroy it long term, because I was just sitting there thinking about what I've learned in my adult life is that networks are the most valuable thing in the world. Look at Google. I remember going to university and they're like, Google it. Like, what the hell is Google? Now they are an insane entity that should probably be cut into 90,000 pieces because of how big they are. Look at Amazon. That was a shopping network. It's lucrative now. As much as I hate it, look at Facebook. Like, that network is worth so much money. And that's why I do believe ETH is going to clobber Bitcoin long term. Like, oh, the Lightning Network. We could probably rhyme off over thousands of projects on ETH. You couldn't rhyme off I couldn't even tell you two besides Lightning Network on Bitcoin. And that's what I think, why you're seeing NFTs and why I'm really getting into it, is because it's all community based. And that's where strength is. Because if you have people that believe in something, they're not going to sell it when someone decides to sell a bunch. They're just going to hold it. And that is probably why Bitcoin has been so strong, because of their network and the people that believe in Bitcoin. That's why they've been so powerful. But I just think technologically, Bitcoin's like the 8-track tape. And we're already on DVDs and like, you know what I mean? Or like moving to like digital music. Like, I get it. Bitcoin's going to be around and it's all that, but it is not. I don't think it's going to be the be all end all. And to be quite honest, I haven't been putting any money in Bitcoin since I first started. And I think it's just because I thought Bitcoin people were annoying. Most people, like Bitcoin net maxis, are super annoying, all guests included. And I'm just going to say it now because I'm not as polite as I once was. And it's an old network. Like, you don't go to your friend's house and say, hey, let's listen, let's go watch a VHS tape. Right?
You don't?
That's what people are saying with Bitcoin. Like, it's not a good, I don't think, and sure, I've probably got my bias from Mr. Perry, but I do believe him. And from everything I've seen, as much as I hate it, networks, social networks, they are extremely powerful and extremely valuable. And that's why I think the whole network of business flooding ETH. ETH has created its own industry of layer 2. Then there's even more there. Like I think it's.
Well, Raul Paul would definitely agree with you. He would definitely agree with you. That's how.
You won't take my calls.
Well, he should, because you're on the same page. You could talk every day about it. That's for sure.
Well, ETH is the ultimate metaverse coin too. Like that's what people don't realize. Like it's the #1 metaverse coin.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no. You know what? And I do believe that everybody has a different set of opinion and a different lens on this. I still feel like Bitcoin has its place. It's like the savings account in all of this. If you just want to save something, that's where I've got my savings. Like that's my hedge. My other coins, to your point, is where I see, fast growth on those projects.
No, I still think Bitcoin has its place as digital gold. Totally. And it should. Like I always think I think we should honor we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for some crazy coder named Satoshi Nakamoto who, created this. So I out of respect I would be sad if we lost Bitcoin like to some weird thing. But, evolution happens and
I think it'll be I think Bitcoin is the thing that the big business and the big money relates to, and it's the thing that everybody feels safe to dip their toe into. It's how I started. I was like, ooh, I don't know about any of these other things. Even Ethereum, I didn't even understand what it was for the longest time, and I didn't know how it worked. I'd heard it, but I didn't know what it was. So you kind of dip your toe into the safe zone, which sounds ridiculous because I have people don't even know what Bitcoin is and they don't think it's safe. But I'm going, oh, that's the safety net over there. And anyways.
But I mean, Neil touched on it. And this was kind of like me, Neil, and our other buddy have kind of come to this resolve. And we've kind of stepped back from crypto a bit the last couple of weeks. And he nailed it. And that's what I told Neil the other day when Neil was like, I have more fun with NFTs. Like, go for it, man. Like, then do it. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone else who doesn't think about it. Go for it. Because there's other people who clearly believe in it. When you got Bored Ape yacht clubs going, millions of dollars, or the punk guys or whatever. I don't get it, but it's happening. And there's always people who won't agree with you that are still making money in something. But with Kitty was the first time in a long time I was actually having fun. Like I just looking at it, just thinking about it, like makes me like, oh my God, this is so cool. Whereas, I love the technology behind, like I think the next, Matic starting to run. You're going to see ZK rollup soon be the next big trend, in my opinion, before it swings back probably to Metaverse. So you're going to see Matic and hopefully some of the other things that I've talked about, DeFi would be ZK rollups, all this stuff. But, is it making me money? Yes, but I'm not having as much fun doing that. Where now it's like, Kitty, wait, I'm going to get like reflections just on volume. I could play the game and make money. I could do this. Oh, I could see it. And then this shift in like, wait a minute, like I was really getting bored and I was really getting tired and emotional over just like seeing coins go down. Their value is good, but you're seeing all this whole other universe right beside you. And I liken that to, whether you're an ETH maxi, a Bitcoin maxi, and any coin maxi, you're looking over, at this one little, pigeonhole when this whole world's around you. And to me now, like if you're a maxi in any coin, you basically, to the normal people still, like, oh, I'm into crypto. Oh, that's bullshit. Like it's a scam. And then you get now into people, they get into crypto and then they just solely stay into Bitcoin or ETH. And they're like, oh, your coins are a scam. And then you see this, these coins rise to the top. Like Aave back in the day, I was talking about it forever. I was like, I can't get over lending. This is so cool. It's such a scam. It's such a scam. And sure, some coins are scams and they still are in many different ways. But like the whole lending thing was going to be a scam. And now look at Aave, people have to keep their open minds, because every time I close my mind to crypto, because I've done it and I've caught myself, with Uniswap, I've said this many times, and I missed out on monumental gains. And, I've looked into NFTs and I still don't get it. So therefore I can't get into it. But the fact is Neil's doing well with Vivi. He's turning profits on all these things. So who am I to judge, right? Like, You know, I thought Ken was crazy. I obviously would never told him, you know, don't do what you're doing, because he clearly knew what he was doing. And look, this guy's probably had the biggest gains out of all of us off the smallest start. So
It's so true.
and now I'm doing what Ken does, and I'm up. My portfolio is technically a lot like in good standing right now, because I'm following more Ken's model, who I now agree with, versus my own model, which was, you know, the farming got me by, but the farming of DeFi, the price came down, but thankfully the farming kept me afloat. But Kitty did a 10x. So
Yeah, but the farming's still good though, because that's giving you coins for the future, that when there's another run on that coin, you know, you're in the positive immediately, right?
if the coin runs, right? But, you know,
well,
like,
yeah.
not to knock DeFi on that one. Like, I'm still like Root over DeFi, even, like, because Root's going to be, you know, gasless, pretty much next to gasless fees to cross-chain swap. And the cheapest cross-chain right now is going to run you $80. On Root, it's going to be like $2 or something, and you're going to pay in Root, and it's going to be instant. So I'm still super high on that, but I've scaled out of DeFi a lot more, because DeFi is just a DEX. And even QuickSwap, which is the #1 DEX on Polygon, is still going down, even though Polygon Matic is starting to go nuts. Now, I'm sure it's going to have an ecosystem run, but like, how many other games? You know, there is another, Rohit showed me another racing kart game that's very similar to Kitty Kart, but it doesn't have nearly the graphics or kind of the fun, you know, like I've seen the trailer, and they just go around in a circle. Kitty Kart's doing loop-de-loops and got all these other little Bored Ape Yacht Club and Pudgy Penguin NFTs are going to be racing. And you're just seeing the graphics versus this. And you're like, okay, similar stuff. Yes. But does it have that, like, that it kind of thing that you can, I hate saying this, maybe I'm wrong, but just like you look at Kitty, you know, it's got like some it factor. Whereas if you're in a DEX like DeFi, you're competing against there's tons of DEXs out there, right? And there's tons of, and I'm not saying that there's tons of other racing games out there, but you kind of just have to, like, you know, oh, now you're going to do NFTs, and it makes into the model. Oh, now you're doing reflection, which is going to be a good passive income model, especially when volume kicks in, which you know it probably is with Kitty. So I'd rather position myself heavier in Kitty. And, you know, I'll be honest with everybody, because I don't want everyone to always think I'm doing well. I moved a lot of my DeFi into Kitty when it was like 3 zeros, 1 4, and we're below 1. So I've taken a huge hit in my portfolio, but I'm not worried. I'm actually breathing a sigh of relief far more than sitting in DeFi that's been constantly going down for the last 6 months. And I have to ask myself, well, it's competing against other DEXs and stuff like this. So I haven't touched a lot of my Root, because I know that that's got a far bigger use case scenario to take out any of the competition. But DeFi, I just wasn't feeling comfortable enough. Knowing the potential of Kitty, I had to do the risk versus reward. Still love DeFi. Seamless, you know, it's easier than QuickSwap. It runs faster. It's all this. But there's many other DEXs. Whereas Kitty, it's like I don't see anything else comparing to that, like, little kart racing, Mario Kart style vibe. You know, sometimes you got to make the hard call, and that's where I'm at.
You said a lot of things. I'm trying to keep up here. No, I'm like going, no. I'm like, you're right. Like, I'm really excited about Kitty myself.
Yeah.
If you want to look at an interesting racing game, look at Guzzler.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Is there a coin for it, or?
Yeah, and it's all NFTs, like your engine, your tires, everything.
Well, that's going to be Kitty Kart too, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll have NFTs for like cheats. You know how in Mario Kart, obviously, and it'll be similar. You had the turtles, you shot at people, or you had the stars, right, and that would make you go faster. You'll be able to have these unique NFTs too. So and obviously the Zed Run model, which is you can also win money at the end of the races and stuff like this. That's why I bought exorbitant amounts more of Kitty than I wanted at the start, because I actually see myself actually investing in this. And this, I make fun of a lot of NFTs, and here I am excited for this because I actually see, wow, I can make money doing this. And the fun, once I kicked in, wow, I'm actually more relieved doing this, even though I'm down right now, has just, it speaks volumes into, you know, doing what you love and getting paid to do it, like Neil said.
Well, see, I'm kicking myself in the ass because I was there during launch for Guzzler when they actually launched it.
When did it launch?
Like 3 weeks ago, I think it was. GUZZLER, and it like 4x'd within the first 5 minutes. And then
that's always the case, unfortunately.
And I was just watching it, and I'm like, oh man, I should buy in. And I just watched the chart. I was like, oh no, never mind.
I mean, well, like this one I told you about the other day, which once again, guys, it just did a 3x today when it dipped along, so it's still not like higher than it was the other day. But I mean, there's this damn coin, Smart Brain Chain, which highly risky. I don't, recommend getting in at this price. Wait for a dip because it's up like 400% or 300%, 200% today. But like, I'm having fun with it. I literally get paid in ETH every day. I put the ETH back in. I get paid for basically each transaction. They also have like a farming treasury and stuff. Like, it's just nuts. And it's just like my head spinning because every day I wake up to this ETH in my wallet, which is already paid for my rug pull and then some, plus I'm already up in this coin. And I don't know. I'm having fun again, but at the same time, I'm like, I got to scale back because you start feeling that FOMO, and then you're looking for other coins that are similar to it, and it rug pulls you. So you got to be careful.
Right. No. It's true. It's true. So, okay. I like all those kinds of games, those reality games, like Farmville and things like that. I did with my kids when they were little and all that sort of jazz. So that's why I like the games too. That's why I keep asking about it. And the metaverse intrigues me. Ryan, did you do any of those Mario Kart games when you were a kid?
No, he was Call of Duty.
No, I had Mario Kart, like on the N64 and stuff.
Oh, that was the best version too.
Yeah, that was when it was fun. I was just looking at, we can share this after, but I kind of had a question for the crew. Actually, can I share my screen, Nancy?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I thought. Okay, I didn't know.
While you're doing that, then Mark, Kitty is now on Binance Chain, so cheap gas fees, man. So and it's cheaper than I bought in, so it's quite the steal if you ask me.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Nice work, Gary. You're gonna be
Anyway,
rich.
are you guys
Yeah.
back? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
we
I'll
can
just.
see. We can.
Okay.
No, you had it right.
Okay. Well, I'll just show you. So anyway, this is the Bitcoin chart right now. I maxed it out, and just for everyone who's always considering, the Bitcoin versus gold debate, yada yada, or that very, very weak argument of, oh, Bitcoin's up X amount this year, look at gold or whatever. Okay, just pay attention to this chart and what it looks like here for Bitcoin. I'm going to go over to the gold chart and look at this is the gold chart. Now, obviously, Bitcoin's on a tighter time frame based on adoption and how things are going with Bitcoin. Gold's been around since the beginning of freaking time. So, but look at the two peaks, even the fact that this second peak is just ever so slightly above the last, and how it's the exact freaking same as Bitcoin. So my question, if you guys want to stop sharing the screen. So my question though to you guys was, basically I think gold's going to go up during the pullback here in the next couple of months. But if that's the case, will Bitcoin also follow suit? Not pullback. I believe gold's going to go up during the pullback. But will Bitcoin follow suit? I don't know. What I'm thinking is that this is maybe going to be Bitcoin's biggest test, because if Bitcoin doesn't necessarily follow suit with the trajectory of gold, well, then that money's going to be pulled out and placed into gold. And then that's going to be a damn serious gold rush. And like, that's also whether you like him or hate him, those are all the gold bugs who shit on Bitcoin every day, right? That's kind of what they're saying. But I just wanted to, because I always hear this argument of, Bitcoin and gold so separate, and, look at the gains, yada, yada, yada. If people just zoom out for a minute and look at those two charts, they're literally identical. So for me, my question is to you guys, I guess, do you think Bitcoin has the stamina of gold during a BS scenario? Because if not, then I believe Bitcoin really is going to go down to what I said, mid-30s, and I'm going to see a massive pump into gold.
I totally think mid-30s are coming, but I also and maybe it pumps, gold
Not
too.
saying,
But
no, I was going to say, not saying that Bitcoiners are going to go to gold. I'm just saying a lot of that money though is going to go to the other hedge.
see,
what I mean?
I think what's going to happen is Bitcoin's going down, but I keep saying that the dominance is going to drop and that money's going to cycle into altcoins. So
Like
I don't think it's going into gold from the crypto side. It's going to go. That's what this dominance is all about. Dominance breaks. That means, because let's face it, there's no new money coming into crypto right now. So when you're watching the dominance drop, it's nothing more than money moving from one coin into
just
other
thinking-
coins.
I'm just thinking more like institutional investors who hold Bitcoin as opposed to massive ETH beds. You know what I mean?
Totally possible.
So that's what I'm thinking. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I probably hear every day on Twitter that, Bitcoin's done this year. Gold's done nothing. It's like, yeah, gold created the entire world that we have for thousands of years. So a little bit of a different scenario. But anyway, if you zoom out for a second, they're identical charts. So I think my only thing with Bitcoin right now, outside of stack and sats, is I just want to see how Bitcoin and gold work together, or maybe not together. I just want to see how they interact in the next couple of months and see some deviations maybe by one or the other and kind of base it from there. But right now, it seems like they're trading in tandem outside of the fact that Bitcoin has an extremely accelerated timeline, which is fine. And we're in the internet age, for God's sakes. But that's where I'm at. So I'm very unsure right now. I don't even know if we are going to see that pullback when I think we're going to see it. Because again, it seems to be tracking pretty nicely. Every time B2 gold goes up, every time gold goes up, my Bitcoin goes up. Let's put it that way. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to seeing in the next few months. Outside of that, though, I'm not changing my buying habits because nothing's changed of any significance for me.
Yeah, there's a connection between Bitcoin and gold, but it's not the connection I think that you're looking for. If you look at a graph of Bitcoin's market cap and compare it to the market cap of gold and sort of then translate Bitcoin back in the past when it
But
has
there is
similar-
no past really for Bitcoin. That's what I'm saying is it's so hard to use any of these metric judgments because it's like
not Bitcoin's past, gold's past.
Okay.
So when you actually look at the movement of gold's market cap as it increased over the years, there is it's pretty close to the same way that Bitcoin's been movement, and that tends to be the one connection that does seem to be in place. But I mean, for right now, I mean, I think as more people start to see Bitcoin as a store of value and gold as a store of value, I think the smart investors are going to be probably hitting both, and to me, that makes sense.
I would bet that at least big time institutional investors are hitting both 100%. I'm just thinking at the end of the day, I know that they're obvious. This was a broad stroke 20-year graph for gold. But for me, I just want to see, like, I want to paint those two pictures, create a channel, and I want to see one of them break out of that channel significantly and kind of gauge it with the market. Because for me, everything's just an unknown until I see some sort of deviance or a deviation and stuff. But I just think it's interesting. Just things are very similar, even when they seem very dissimilar. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because when the Bitcoiners were here, it's an argument that's always made on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are
I'd say
right.
One thing that Bitcoin has for it though is it's there's not as many barriers to getting it, right? Whereas to get gold, you've got to have the money, you've got to go to where, like, there's numerous places to go, but it's a little bit more controlled than that. So whereas, if you want Bitcoin, you could jump on an exchange, you could create a wallet and transfer some money. So
I'd be willing to
could be
bet though that
something
I'd be willing to bet that if you walk down the street and asked people how to buy Bitcoin, I bet you maybe 10 to 20 out of 100 would give you an answer. That's my gut feeling, even though it's as easy as downloading Shakepay. That's total. I have to literally walk some people step by step, a 2-step process. And it's like, download the app, put your name in, we're done. And I'm just, but I'm dead serious that
when we're ready to accost strangers and allowed to go to accost strangers, I will joke. I'll go out and ask people where they can buy gold, and then we'll get you to go and ask people where we could do Bitcoin. We'll actually be able to compare, right?
No, but what I would say is that, and this is happening to Bitcoin, is that you can buy gold extremely easily, like very, very easily. I could do it driving down the street in 10 minutes. I could go to any store. I could buy it online through stocks and yada, yada, yada. Now, this is happening.
Don't you need your ID for that?
To buy gold?
No.
No. And you don't pay tax on it. It's super easy. Anyway, it's pretty easy to buy gold. I totally understand what your point is, though. But again, no, I think that like Bitcoin will be more popular when, again, these bonds and financial products related to Bitcoin and what El Salvador is doing starts really gaining traction, because that'll turn it more into like a gold-like product in how it's traded, in my opinion. But yeah, no, gold's pretty easy. Although I know where to get it, so I should say that.
Well, I remember Haas saying that he'd buy gold, but then there was a holding fee, and so on. So like to do it, in this the squeaky clean way is not as easy as
Well, when you bought silver recently, did you have to do the KYC or did they just send it to you?
You don't do
Oh.
KYC for this.
Jewelry.
No.
Is shipping information. A child could buy this. As long as you have the payment information, it's
so I thought
All you're doing is purchasing a product. That's all it is.
and yeah, all you're doing is purchasing a product. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Kyle K's point is people know about Bitcoin, but probably he sees that people don't realize that there's an entire ecosystem that isn't Bitcoin. They think that all the other coins serve the same purpose or something close to Bitcoin. So
I don't want to take a dump on her, but my mom is like that. She's like, "What's cryptos? How is this different than Bitcoins?" It's like, okay, whatever. Let's start from square one. But I think that that's exactly what most people. I think Kyle nailed it.
Yeah, because as I said to you earlier in my rant, like think about the things that we've had to learn over the last year. When we first started this channel, I was just really trying to get a handle on Bitcoin and Ethereum, what they did. And then it was just starting to hear and listen to the other coins. 1 year ago, I was like, no, that's like, I don't even understand that. I don't know what that is.
You realize in a year from now, I'm going to be like balls deep in like 20 fish tokens.
I know.
Right?
Yes, you are.
Like, I know.
You'll be the one telling Ken, hey, Ken, have you seen the latest, ippity dippity thing,
A year from now, we're going to be meeting each other in an exotic location and chilling out for a couple of weeks.
You think so? Because
Bradford?
Oh my goodness.
Bradford? Yeah, I took a road trip to Bradford.
There you go.
What are we doing in Bradford?
We're going to eat corn on the cob. Anyways, I'm telling you right now that here's my other piece that I don't understand is the bear market. So I know we all talk about the bears are coming, the bear market. I know that bear market means it's down. I get all that. I'm not, I'm just not clear why there's a time frame for it.
But the time frame's always going to shift. Like the really nice thing about what's happened in the last few days is the amount of liquidations that we've seen on both the crypto and stock side of things is going to help chill this problem out. It's almost like letting some steam out for a second, right? So now we're prolonged a little bit because there's less dead cash on the market. So as long as we keep, that's why I was saying it last spring, shake out these people, get rid of them because they shouldn't have been there in the first place. And we'll get back to going how it should be going. But like, if anything, I'm way happier seeing how bad things have been in the last 2 weeks. Because if we literally did have the end of the year rally in December was just nothing but roses and pure green, I'd be so out at the end of the month, it wouldn't even be funny. I just would feel that sketched out. Maybe that's just me. But every time we get these massive shakeouts, like I'm sitting there thinking, get rid of the people who don't want to be here anyway. It just enhances my position, gives me an ability to buy cheaper. So I don't know. But the bear market shifts every time we see, or potential for it, every time we see these like massive liquidation events that can occur in the market. So killing dead cash and dead investors and wiping them out is the best thing, really. It
Also
sucks
remember,
for them, but whatever.
It's interpretive. I've got buddies in my trading group who still insist that we've been in a bear market since May.
Really?
Yeah, and that it's going to kick in soon and there's going to be a bull market. It's interpretive. One could definitely say that 2018, 2019, everyone could be like, that was a bear. But for me, when it was the drudges of the bear market is when I got my biggest, I got a 45X, So once again, like, change your game, apply. There's always money to be made. The metaverse, I'm sure some of these coins may move. So
it's not like millionaires and billionaires stop making money during a downturn in the market. Like if anything, they make even more because downturns in the market create paper hand fear and FUD. And it just means that we're weak, they're strong. So don't be weak, be like them. And just, Tim, you nailed it.
I made way more in that bit, and then obviously I squandered it, but it was just like, had I played my cards, it was all my fault that I lost the money that I did in the bear market. I was a 10X on Raven coin too, and I rode it all the way up and all the way down. Now that I know how coins are, I 10X'd Union, but I got out, learn the game and learn, okay, you know, that's not going to last, especially if you know you're in a bearish market, move around a bit. But I don't know. Mark's, you can check CoinGecko. Remember, guys, always use CoinGecko as your Bible.
Yep.
You go to CoinGecko, see if they've listed the contract in Kitty Inu to copy and paste that on PancakeSwap. But I know it's trading because Sarai just said she bought it on.
Yeah,
there.
I found the contract on PooCoin.
Okay, maybe if you could, you want to put it in the
Great
comments.
website.
Yeah.
What?
You want to paste either the PooCoin or the contract in the comments for Mark?
That would be awesome. Does everybody want to hear a funny story?
I would love
Yes.
a funny story.
Sure.
Tim Danter,
Yes.
you have to tell them about no. Tim Danter has to tell everybody about his friend Giovanni, the skedaddle raccoon guy. Wasn't that his name, Giovanni?
You really think that's fitting?
It's not fitting, but it was funny as hell. Tim was laughing so hard trying to get this story out last night.
He doesn't appear to be laughing right now.
Okay, I'm going to set the
sorry.
stage, and then Tim's going to tell you the story. Should I set the stage?
Oh, please.
So we have we had raccoons in our floor, and they were running around, screeching, screaming, craziness.
I'll be right.
that?
My camera's screwing up. I got audio still. So
Oh,
give me 2
okay.
seconds.
Place.
Yeah, I was thinking, what is he showing us his living room in the middle
I
of
wish.
this? So, anyways, the
Ryan's definitely
raccoons.
done well.
The raccoons are crazy. They're running around, and I couldn't take it anymore. So we ended up calling the pest control people. And the guy came out. His name was Giovanni. He's an Italian fellow, super thin. I was thinking, what Italian guy is that thin? Seriously, I thought they ate spaghetti and whatnot. Anyways, but he needed to be thin because he has to crawl into crazy places. So Tim asks him a story about what's the craziest thing that has ever happened to you.
So Luigi says,
His name was Luigi, not Giovanni.
His name was Giovanni Luigi.
his name's Luigi. He said that the other week there, he said he had to go up into a roof that was gabled. So they've got one of those, I don't know, it's a 2 foot by 3 foot, vent that pops off the end of the gable. It's a peaked roof and you have to climb in that way, right, from outside. And he says at the other end of the 30-foot attic are the baby raccoons that he's got to get out because they can hear him, he can see him and stuff. So he's down there, and he's a fairly tall, lanky guy. And he says, I didn't have a lot of room. And he said, of course, there's another gable on the other end with a vent because you have to let air flow through. And he says, I start to get halfway down the roof and halfway down. He says, I see the little raccoons and stuff like that. And he says, I got about 3/4 of the way down. And all of a sudden he hears this growl and he sees a big head pop out from between the baby raccoons. It's the mama raccoon and they're suckling. All of a sudden, the mama raccoon growls and starts charging him. I said, so what did you do? He says, I screamed. He says, I screamed at the top of my lungs. He says, this raccoon is charging me. He says, so help me God, I thought I was going to get taken out. This raccoon's screaming at him. He's screaming at the raccoon. It goes winging right by him. And he almost pooped his pants.
I actually
The raccoon goes right out the other end and leaves baby raccoons there.
Oh yeah,
I got a similar story to that. Years ago, man, I was early 20s. I was dating a girl at the time, and we went up to her friend's cottage, And as you drive, it was around Perry Sound, so maybe someone may be able to know what I'm about to say. And as you drive down this cottage road, you see all these like old 1920s shoes, like really old shoes nailed up along a tree. Do you guys know that?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
okay, so and then there's like a resort, an old resort right there.
It's the Fern Resort.
Where is that then? Just so because I can't
I
remember.
don't know if that's coming off of Gravenhurst when you go into Gravenhurst or Bracebridge.
I thought it was further. Okay, so maybe Bracebridge. But anyway, so we get to the cottage, and we were like a day later than everybody else, and they're like, oh, like, you know, that old beaten down cottage there is where a man killed his whole family in the early 20s or 1900s or whatever, and they nailed all the shoes up in like memory of the family. And they're like, yeah, and it's haunted. And we went last night and we went through the basement. And, you know, the old school basements where it's not like, you know, a door open, it's you slide the floor open kind of thing. And they're like something like a ghost or something like push back on it. And I'm going, like, you know, like, oh, you guys trying to scare everyone. So we get a little tipsy and I'm like, that's it. Let's go right at sundown, you know, kind of like to scare everybody. So about 15 of us trudge over, and I'm in the back, like just thinking, oh, like everyone trying to do a ghost story and stuff like this. And they're like, let's go through the basement. I'm like, sure. And one of the guys that like was it like not agreeing, you know, like, oh, this is a total scam. They're just trying to scare us. He was at the front, and him and his girlfriend, he goes to like push up, and I guess he's something pushes back, and he's freaking. Like he actually like looked visibly concerned. So I was like, everybody out of the way. So I go to like do it. Sure enough, I go to like push up, something pushes right back. Now I obviously though, instead of like freaking out, I just decided to give it all my force like this. The biggest mofo and porcupine, I guess, and falls like right, like bounces basically off my head. And I, of course, though, I you know, just freaking out. I start running and all these girls, and I guess it was a girl, and she was trying to jump off the basement, and it's like a 3-foot drop. It was like this trudging. I literally apparently just launched her right out of the way, and everyone thought though that they'd seen a ghost because I hadn't yet said like porcupine. And once I gathered my stuff and knew what it was, because I just knee-jerk reaction, I went back up through the top stairs and saw him. It was the biggest motherfucking porcupine in the world.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't have quills all in your body.
Well, I don't remember if it was the floor or the porcupine. I just know he ended up at eye level with me and something hit my head, and it was enough for me to be gone.
And the officer is interviewing Tim Perry, said, and what emergency steps did you take? And Tim's response are fucking big ones.
Oh,
well, that was for the 2-second thing that I actually do probably believe that there might be ghosts, but like I was like, that was for a minute I really thought, oh my god, is this really a ghost?
Well, the hotel in downtown Hamilton, the Royal Connaught, is it the Royal Connaught on Main? It's haunted.
I mean, I definitely believe
for those haunted. People pay extra to stay in those haunted rooms.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that I would want to do that. Would you stay in a haunted room, knowing it's a haunted room?
Well, I don't know if I didn't have to wash the white sheets, I'd be okay.
Well, there's the Albion too in Guelph that's known, and I stayed in that one, but nothing any creepy happened. That was Capone used to stay there.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We had an experience when we lived on McDonald Road. We lived directly across from the hospital, which was a newly built maternity. Well, not newly built, but it was added on. But behind that used to be the morgue. And we would be in bed many times at night, honest to God. And our dog would sit up and look into a corner of a room and just growl.
Yes, that happened to us a lot.
Growl. And there would be times that I would be sleeping and it would feel like someone was at the end of the bed doing that.
Pushing down on the end of the bed.
It was like someone was doing that. And then I felt like someone sat down beside me in bed one night.
Yeah, I felt smothered one night, like it laid on top of me and was pushing me down. I didn't like that feeling at all. And the one where I thought, okay, I thought the dog had jumped on the bed and was walking across the bed, only for her to roll over and put her face on my, she was there with me all the time. she didn't jump on the bed. She'd been lying there. So we had the craziest experiences in that house.
Sorry, let's help Mark here before he does anything crazy. Mark, you got to send Binance to your MetaMask, and you're going to trade with the Binance to get the kitty. So you have, and it has to be Binance chain compatible. So you're looking for BP20, I believe. If anyone can help, I think it's just BB20. You have, I know AscendX, you can buy Binance and send from there. Obviously, you can AscendX, sorry, because not Binance, because Binance soon won't allow Ontario. But just remember, any swap that you're using, if you're using it on a platform and it's Uniswap and it's ETH based, you have to pay an ETH. If it's on Polygon, it's Matic based. If it's on Avalanche, same thing. So if you're on PancakeSwap, it's Binance based. You have to trade it with Binance, and you have to get it onto your MetaMask. So make sure your MetaMask also is compatible first with your Binance, and add your Binance chain to MetaMask. There's a few steps. Mark, if you're, maybe send me a message first before you do it.
Yeah. No, this is.
Do you want to help out, Neil?
Sure. Just send it anywhere.
Send it anywhere, I'll help you. That's funny. Does anybody else have any
I
ghost
hate when
stories?
that happens. I freak myself
No, but
out.
I am scared shitless now. So
I know. I did that once myself, and I called Tim, and I went, "What the hell
How am
did
I
I do?
supposed
What
to
the hell
fight
did I
a
do?"
ghost? They scare the hell out of me, man.
Do they?
I don't really. I don't deny them, but I've never seen them.
No, I
think
believe
if I was
in them,
staying- I think if I was staying in a haunted place, I'd prefer not to know it was haunted, so that I could just be like, "Oh, I knocked something over. I'm just an idiot," you know.
Right.
If you
I would
want a
just
ghost
sleep
story, I do have one.
Okay, I think
Oh,
we
here we
need a
go.
ghost story.
So when I was in my early 20s, this happened in Halifax. One night, I'd missed the last bus to go home. So a friend of mine, he was running a small boarding house, and he said, "Well, look, there's a room. Just why don't you use this room?" I said, "Okay, sure." So I went up, I laid down, and I started to try to fall asleep. And then I just woke up, and there was this thing just floating and glowing. And it was like, it was a shape. It was just really weird. It scared the crap out of me. And I'm like, no, I'm getting out of here. So I just grabbed my stuff. I ran, left. Now it's like about 2 a.m. So I'm like, well, it's about an hour walk home. So I start the walk home. And as I'm doing it, I'm not really paying attention to where I'm going. Next thing you know, I notice that there's a street. It's called Cork Street, and I step on it. And the second I stepped on Cork Street, the hair on the back of my neck, it just went straight up. I was like, okay, this is really weird. And I felt like that, and I felt a presence the entire length of Cork Street. But the second I stepped off of it, everything was back to normal. And I was like, oh, okay, this is just really weird. So I went home. I made it home eventually, went to sleep. Everything was fine. I woke up the next morning, found out that somebody had been brutally murdered on Cork Street the night before. And apparently the murder happened somewhere around the time I was seeing this floaty thingy in that room. So it's just really, really weird and kind of creepy. And it kind of, even now I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing up a tiny bit, because it was, it was weird.
Yeah. Oh, no idea. Yeah.
Mark, don't send it anywhere. Be
Poor
very
Mark.
careful. Always check twice. Make sure you're connected to the Binance chain. I'm glad he laughed at it, though. No, the good news is I sent it to my own wallet. The bad news is it wasn't connected to any stable. So it's like I didn't screw up. I just definitely wasn't very diligent.
I'm going to let you figure this part out, just because.
Oh yeah, it's not even going to be hard. I just got to log in on a different browser.
So Mark, have you got it figured out?
Are you waiting for him to reply?
If he's connected to the Binance chain,
He's going to be connected to the Binance chain, yeah.
Yeah, if he's connected to the Binance chain, he's already halfway there.
Yeah, but that's my worrying concern. Like, are you are you integrated with the Binance chain in your MetaMask? That's the big one.
And now
Put
we
your
all
hand
sit.
up
Wait,
if you
wait,
are.
listen. You think I'm bad? They all did the same thing. We're all sitting there waiting for Mark to answer.
Okay, so yeah, he has. So then you
Thank
just
you,
have
Mark.
yeah. AscendX is my favorite because they're pretty much compatible. I think KuCoin is as well, because you mentioned KuCoin. So you have to buy, if you got to get Binance from either KuCoin or AscendX. And then you have to, yes, I don't know. Oh, now I don't know what she's answering. I don't know too.
This is a Rick situation, bro. Don't know if it's going to be solved tonight.
But what you can use is the Binance Smart Bridge, eh? You can bridge over your ETH to BSC and buy.
Yeah, but that costs you $80.
Does it?
Usually these bridges aren't cheap. Yeah, because you get dinged on the east side.
Right.
If you could
What's
just move
his, I've now forgotten what Mark is trying to do. What is Mark
trying
trying
to
to
buy
do?
Us.
He's trying to buy Kitty on Pancake Swap.
Oh man.
Mark, just share your screen with us.
No. Mark and Nikki
I'm
are
joking.
Oh, that's
anyways.
right. Kyle's also right. You got to have the 12% slippage, or else you'll keep getting denied. At least you won't lose hundreds of dollars in gas fees, though.
Why not?
Oh.
It's always good. Just goes to the miners.
Good learning lesson. Yeah, right. Yeah, the greedy miners.
Yeah. Well, Tim, you've bought Kitty before. Was it easy?
No, I called Tim. I said,
Wait, that's right.
Oh, it was easy. I called
Tim,
Tim.
you need to buy Kitty. Sure.
I'm soon just
Man.
disappearing. Yeah. Soon Neil's gonna have horses on wallets he doesn't know. Tim won't know how to buy
You're all
stuff.
going to be named Perry.
We'll have all these Kitty Inu tokens, but we don't know how to get them out. Tim, how
Yeah.
to get them out? I don't
Yeah.
know.
but they're safe. They're safe.
Or at least I know
They're
at
really
least I know I
safe.
bring some valuable.
Oh, definitely, and a good.
Well, you know what?
story or
Okay,
two.
the stupidest thing, you know what it was? The slippage of this 12% stuff.
Right.
I had it at 0.12%.
You're lucky. You're lucky.
Oh yeah, you haven't done that too, there, Ken. You know it, and then Tim goes, well, it's like, oh, as soon as he said, look at the slippage, it was like, oh shit.
Panda, we have done a video on how to swap. It's back there somewhere. And it technically applies to everything. I think we only did a Uniswap, but it would apply to every native chain.
We should pull that down and put a new thumbnail on it.
Yes, we should.
Anyways, all right. Well, I think we've covered the gamut of topics tonight, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm sure there'll be lots of holiday gatherings while everybody still can before they start deciding to take actions to not let us see each other again.
Don't listen to them.
Anyways,
What is that? What they're doing in Ontario?
Windsor's,
let's say this is the actual-
Windsor's gone back to level 3.
Windsor's been moved back to level 3, 50% capacity. for
Oh
diners.
God, I don't miss that place. You live in jail.
The absolute illogic of everything going down right now is beyond my. I just want to absolutely curse at the world right now.
I'm looking
Yes,
at big
well-
properties now.
Well,
There's a
Big
place in
properties.
this country where you're free, bro.
But like
There's a place.
the UK were
Metaverse.
doing the same thing, and the other day all their politicians got busted having a huge party, and
oh, dude,
the
Prime
BBC
Minister-
the
I was gonna
BBC
say-
investigates, and they're like, "Oh, we have nothing to investigate." Da 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 da. But you may want to cancel Christmas.
Yeah, dude,
Like-
the Prime Minister of Finland was just caught last night clubbing. She's 36 years old. She's a prime minister. She was clubbing
And she
till
had
4
COVID.
o'clock. Yeah, and she's got COVID exposure, and it's like no one gives a shit. So
Yeah.
stop pretending.
And then
like,
and then South Africa is literally like the doctor who apparently discovered the Omicron. Obviously, I don't believe that I think it was already other places, and this is just the game they're playing. Was like, oh, it's so mild. Like,
yeah,
cases
but where
are
did that
mild.
go?
And
He's
you're
like,
seeing
"Don't
this,
worry."
and then and yet over here it's like just fear porn, man. And now Pfizer's like, the best was today actually. Pfizer was like, it's on Twitter. It was like, Pfizer now says that the third dose will be good for the variant. And then there was literally in can't remember, it was the Huffington Post or whatever it is, a thing from all these other scientists going, we don't think that this will cover like any of the new variants and shit.
An Australian MP said that the booster shot will guarantee you 4 more months of additional freedom.
Yeah.
So it's
I think that turned out. In all fairness, I technically believe that will become a post, but I think that was a fake
I saw that all over the place.
No, don't get me wrong. I think it literally that's what they think, but I posted that and then took it down because I realized that it looked doctored.
What happened to good old oregano oil and garlic?
Well,
that works on vampires.
And we know we need to get rid of them.
So I'll say this out loud.
It freaks me out.
I've worked in the alternative health realm. Nancy knows this. I've seen people cure themselves, and I'm not BSing. I've seen people cure their terminal stage 4 cancers in 6 months. Some of these people, obviously some of them took 3 years, by alternative things. This whole notion that our immune systems can't fight off a freaking like a cold now, it's gone beyond my tolerance for
they're making us be dependent on pharmaceuticals for fucking everything.
Exactly. And
you stubbed your toe. Oh, here's a pill for that.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And I personally, and I'll also admit this, I have pancreatic.
Cut the toe off.
What's that?
Cut the toe off.
Yeah, Neil. Of course, Neil.
I stub my toe all the time.
Yeah, but I personally, actually, Nancy, I don't know if she's still working there, but this is actually kind of a funny story. Years ago, about almost 10 years ago, I was about 190 pounds. And in 2 months, all my weight went down. I was 125 pounds. So much that Nancy was my manager at a restaurant. I walked in and I didn't have any shifts for like the next 2 weeks. We had a 2-week shift. So I kind of walked in. I was like, hi. And it was Mark, who was at the time. He's like, Tim, and I had to close the door. And he's like, we're worried about you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm worried about myself too. But, and he's just like, we know you like to party. And I'm like, what are you trying to infer here, Mark? Like, I've never touched cocaine in my entire life. I make jokes about it, but never touched it. And everyone thought I was like all hopped up on cocaine, having the biggest party thing of my life.
No,
like,
I thought you had cancer. I didn't know.
Well,
what
a
was
lot
wrong
of people,
with you.
I thought I had cancer, to be honest. It turns out, obviously, now I got misdiagnosed for 5-6 years. I have pancreatitis, so chronic pancreatitis. So I have severe damage to my pancreas, in which I can't digest fats or proteins properly. So now I've gotten it under control. I used to always have pains, doubled over, all this shit. All came from antibiotics that my doctors were prescribing that they had no idea that they couldn't cross and do this shit. So ask me if I trust my doctors with everything that they tell me.
Do you trust your doctors, Tim?
Yeah, I just motioned it. So it's just like, I'm not saying that everyone's out. There's also I also collaborate with a doctor right now who worked with Fauci in the 80s on the AIDS debacle. Doesn't have good things to say about that whole scenario. So I'm still working on some crazy stuff, which maybe I'll allude to some, but I'm not going on national TV.
This is international.
Yeah.
Welcome to the internet.
Listen. This is why we still have these T-shirts that are made. We can still wear this because we don't have that either. So
we're stuck at 868. We're stuck.
So listen,
I promise you, if you put out a video a week until 2022, 3 videos, you'll hit 1,000, guaranteed.
That would require time.
Yes.
We will. You're right. You are right. Anyways, this has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us yet again. Ken, the freaking Oracle, Candace from the Financial Brew, hi Rye from Mario, hi
Mario.
We got our in-house NFT expert Neil, the crypto hick, and of course the amazing Tim Perry, and everybody that joined us tonight. We really, really appreciate it. And we look forward to talking to you next week on Crypto Night in Canada.